Jim Nantz really made it entertaining.
Well, that was the key. The important thing Jim Nantz called his 30-second. He now, and we know this from hearing Jim Nantz interviewed and asked about something else, and he brought up the fact that it was his 30-second final, and the previous record was 6.
Hello, friends.
And that was brilliant the way he brought it up. He actually pretended that someone asked him the first year he did if he thought he could break the record. And the person we checked, the person that asked the question on the conference call was fired and was never allowed on a conference call again because the question was so stupid.
He was driving me nuts because he took forever. For some reason, he's in charge of the in-game PA as well because, he's Jim Nantz, so why wouldn't he be?
Hello, friends. Jim Nantz.
All the pomp and grandeur before the game that he was announcing, he talked so slow.
And Jim, I believe they're here.
I'm like, okay, Nance, we know this is your last time. You don't need to make the game an hour longer.
It's going to end.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nance. You can only drag it out a few seconds, buddy.
And just the intro with him and Grant Hill and Rafferty, it's just like, what is this asking to a guy who just calls the game?
I know.
I'm sorry, anybody could really do that job. And my favorite highlight of Nance last night was where he fucked up a call. I don't know if you remember where the guy went for the dunk in the first, and it bounced way back, and then the same guy ended up shooting a 3 on that possession.
He's about to say, and he did, so make the 3. And
why dunk it when you can? And the guy missed, and then Jim's like, well, I was going to say he made the 3. It's like, yeah, that's why you don't say it until the ball goes through the rim, you dope. I've never liked him.
I know, and we have a few listeners that really like him.
They do?
Yeah, just
what
a
do
few.
They like about him?
Just a few. And they're like, oh, God, it's so hard to hear my favorite podcast talk about my favorite announcer that way.
Really? No, I have no problems with him doing golf.
Well, I was going to say, people act like this is the end of Nantz. This isn't the end of Nantz. This is just the end of him in March Madness. He's going to still be in,
Hello, my friends. Jim Nantz here in Butler Cabin.
He's going to be all over the place.
No, they're just sorry that we kind of put him down. But I think he's a pretty good at what he does. It's his personality that drives me crazy, that he's just the nicest guy in the history of the world. Yesterday was the greatest example, though, when he brought up the record, and he did it in that roundabout way and acted as if, I was just innocently on a conference call, and somebody said, do you think you could break the record? I didn't know what they were talking about. What record? And the next thing he's telling us that he's doing his 32nd, and the record's 6.
When he
look,
what
a humble brag that was.
He lost me a long time ago. First off, he's got a clothing deal, and that clothing deal is with Vineyard Vines, which is just not a relatable thing to me. Right? That's a very preppy, rich apparel, and that's not nothing I would wear.
Do you drink his wine, the Collie?
Well, that's what I was going to say too. Remember when we watched him talk about his wine and he's got a vineyard in his backyard. He's just not a relatable guy,
not at all
whatsoever.
He's like really, honestly, he's kind of the white guy that everyone doesn't like in 2023. Everything he stands for, the privilege, I think he's very unself-aware about it, too.
Oh, he is.
I really, really, really don't think he is aware of how white he is, how
very milquetoast and vanilla and boring.
I mean, I think he thinks he's on the right side of everything, but honestly, he's just so nice that you can't really. I mean, I don't want him torn down. I don't want people to go, Jim Nantz is a terrible old white guy. I don't even mean it like that. But he is the guy that drives those young females crazy. Those young white females.
He's a stereotype.
Yeah, if he
embodies the stereotype.
If he ever said all lives matter, I mean, the world would explode.
He would never come close to saying anything that controversial.
No, he would know not to say it. I think he would want to say it, but he wouldn't be able to say it.
This tradition, unlike any other.
Somebody would save him from saying it.
What if he goes full hardcore Trump now that he's off the basketball tournament? He's wearing a MAGA hat at the Masters Thursday. I would love that. I would love to see that happen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hello, friends. Make America great again.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's MAGA country.
He changes hello, friends to hello, MAGA.
God, he'd be so popular with the MAGA crowd.
But he's so
They'd
boring.
embrace him.
He's so boring, Drew. He's the kind of guy that's like, I don't really get involved in politics.
Yes, I don't try to stay away from the voting booth. I don't really want to make a decision like that.
Meanwhile, buy my wine and my Vineyard Vines.
Clothes.
I see enough people lose as it is in my profession.
Remember when we went through all the ties that he gave to people, and like 90% of them were white guys that played for Villanova. I don't know. Good. The other problem with him, and it's not his fault necessarily, is that there are so many better play-by-play guys in basketball.
He's not
Gus
my
Johnson
favorite.
really doesn't do basketball as much anymore, but he was great. Kevin Harlan is really, really good.
I don't think his play-by-play
Eagle.
is his Achilles heel. I think it's his love for himself that's his
Yeah.
Achilles heel.
Yeah.
He really loves himself, and you really have to pay close attention. He gives little signs, and I think there are tells where you can tell that he's madly in love with himself.
This idea that he's best friends with Grant Hill ever since Grant Hill was in college.
Oh, because he waited for him outside the locker room after
he
his
asked me to
game.
play horse.
I knew we'd cross paths again.
Grant Hill never asked Jim Nantz to play horse.
Because that's what best friends do.
I refuse to ever believe that.
And I think also, I think he thinks he's hot.
Oh yeah, well he's got a wife that's 20 years
He got
younger.
divorced. He married a much younger woman. He's got little kids who are like 6.
Yeah, and now he's ready to be a dad. Since he fucked it up the first time. I don't know. Does he have older kids?
Yes. Yeah,
two,
his
I
first marriage. I think this is like an Elton John wants to be a dad. I don't think he really wants to be a dad. I think he's just saying it because it's the right thing to say, and he thinks he should want to be a dad, but I don't think he wants to be a dad. And I think what will happen is he'll just engross himself more in the winery or in the Masters or something.
I really want to be a dad, except for that long week in April when the Masters is going on, and every weekend in the fall when I'm doing football.
And the U.S. Open, and then again the British Open, and I don't want to be a dad that weekend.
He has a 29-year-old, 28-year-old daughter.
Oh, he does.
A 9-year-old son and a 7-year-old son.
Okay.
And I really would like to do baseball. I'd like to do one World Series before I'm done, but I'd have to do a few postseasons, regular seasons first. So that takes probably till I'm about 70.
He's 63 currently.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be a dad. I could be wrong. I don't know. He's really he's a harmless guy.
No, I know.
He really is. I don't wish.
I just want to be a father.
I know, but I don't think he'd be my friend. Right? You can say hello, friends.
It'd be really, really fake if he
we'd have a lot in common.
Really fake. I don't think we're in the club. Yeah. I don't think we'd make it in the club. I'd say, he'd probably ask, what club membership do you have? And that would be the end of it.
Wait, you're not his friend?
I'm not in a country club. And
You're not his friend? You don't
we're all
consider-
his friend.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my friend.
Oh, how fucking
He's so
fake
corny.
that is. Is that the last thing he said?
Thank you for being my friend.
Yeah.